Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Understanding and fixing error, invalid method declaration, return type required in Java. The error, invalid method declaration, return type required error in Java is a very common compilation error, especially for beginners. It essentially means that you've declared a method, a function in Java parlance, but haven't explicitly stated what type of data that method is supposed to return. Java requires every method to specify its return type, even if it doesn't actually return any value, in which case, you use void. Here's a comprehensive breakdown. 1. What is a method in Java? A method is a block of code that performs a specific task. It's a fundamental building block of Java programs. Methods allow you to organize your code into reusable chunks, making your programs more modular, readable, and maintainable. 2. Method declaration structure. The basic structure of a method declaration in Java is. Let's break down each part. Access modifier This controls the visibility and accessibility of the method from other parts of your program. Common access modifiers include public, accessible from anywhere. Private, accessible only within the same class. Protected, accessible within the same class, subclasses, and within the same package. No modifier, package private/default, accessible only within the same package. Return type This is the data type of the value the method is expected to return to the caller. It can be any valid Java data type, including int, integer numbers, example 10, -5, 0. Double, floating point numbers, example 3.14, -2.5. Boolean, true or false values. String, textual data, example hello world. Char, a single character, example a, 7. Object, the base class for all objects in Java. Methods can return objects of any class. Void, special keyword indicating that the method does not return any value. Method name the name you give to the method. Method names should be descriptive and follow Java naming conventions, camel case. For example, calculate sum, get username, print message. Parameter list a comma-separated list of parameters, inputs, that the method accepts. Each parameter has a data type and a name. If the method doesn't need any inputs, the parameter list is empty. Example, int x, string name, this method takes an integer named x and a string named name as input. The curly braces enclose the method body, which contains the code that performs the method's task. Return statement if the return type is not void, the method must include a return statement that returns a value of the specified return type. The return statement ends the execution of the method. If the return type is void, no return statement is strictly necessary, but you can use return, without a value to exit the method early. 3. The error, invalid method declaration, return type required error. This error arises when the compiler encounters a method declaration where the return type is missing or invalid. It's like the compiler is saying, hey, you told me you're defining a method, but you didn't tell me what kind of data this method is supposed to give back, if any. 4. Common scenarios and examples. Let's look at some common situations where this error occurs and how to fix them. Missing return type. In the incorrect example, the calculate sum method declaration is missing the int keyword to specify that it returns an integer value. The corrected example fixes this by adding int asterisk incorrectly assuming no return is necessary asterisk. Sometimes you might think that because a method doesn't explicitly calculate and return a value, it doesn't need a return type. This is wrong. If the method doesn't return anything, you must use void. The first print message method is missing a return type. The corrected version specifies void, indicating that the method performs an action, printing to the console, but doesn't return anything to the caller. Asterisk constructor-like syntax but missing new keyword, common beginner mistake. Beginners sometimes accidentally write code that looks like a constructor but isn't actually a constructor because they forget the new keyword when creating the object. This can cause the compiler to misinterpret the code as a method declaration without a return type. If you were to uncomment the myClass 20 line, the compiler would try to interpret myClass 20 as a method named myClass that takes an integer as a parameter, but without a return type. The solution is to use the new keyword, new myClass 20. Asterisk forgetting to return a value in a non-void method asterisk. If your method declares a return type other than void, the compiler expects a return statement that returns a value of that type for all possible execution paths. If a path exists where the method doesn't return a value, you'll get a compilation error. In the findMax method, if A is not greater than B, the code inside the if statement isn't executed, and the method reaches the end without returning a value. The corrected version uses an else block to ensure that a value is returned in all cases. You could also do this using a ternary operator, return, A, B, asterisk returning the wrong data type asterisk. Make sure the data type you return in the return statement matches the declared return type of the method. The calculate area method incorrectly tries to return a string value when its return type is int. The compiler will report a incompatible types error. The corrected version multiplies length and width and returns the integer result. 5. How to debug and fix the error. 1. Read the error message carefully asterisk the compiler's error message will tell you the exact line number where the error occurs. 2. Check the method declaration asterisk look at the method declaration, access modifier return type method name, parameter list, for the line identified in the error message. 3. Ensure a return type is present asterisk verify that you've specified a valid return type, like int, string, boolean, void, or a class name, before the method name. 4. For non-void methods, verify return statements asterisk if the return type is not void, double check that your method includes a return statement for every possible execution path. 5. Check the data type of the returned value asterisk if you have a return statement, ensure that the data type of the value you are returning matches the return type declared in the method signature. 6. Rule out other syntax errors asterisk sometimes a missing semicolon, a mismatched brace, or other simple syntax errors can obscure the real problem and indirectly lead to the return type required error. 6. Example, a more complex scenario. Let's consider a more complex example with inheritance and abstract classes. In this example, asterisk shape is an abstract class. Abstract methods must be implemented by concrete, non-abstract, subclasses. The getArea method in shape is abstract. Asterisk circle and rectangle are concrete subclasses of shape. They must provide an implementation for the getArea method. If they didn't, they would also need to be declared as abstract classes. Asterisk each getArea method correctly specifies its return type as double and returns a double value.
*.
The @override annotation is used to indicate that these methods are overriding the abstract method from the parent class. This is good practice because it helps the compiler catch errors if you accidentally misspell the method name or change the parameter list in a way that doesn't match the parent class's method. Important considerations *. Naming conventions * follow Java naming conventions. Method names should start with a lowercase letter and use camel case, example calculate total, get user input. Code readability * choose descriptive method names that clearly indicate the method's purpose. Well-named methods make your code easier to understand and maintain. Modularity * break down complex tasks into smaller, well-defined methods. This improves code organization and reusability. Comments * add comments to explain what your methods do, especially if the logic is complex or non-obvious. Comments help other developers, and your future self, understand your code. Return types versus side effects * methods can have both a return value and side effects, actions that modify the state of the program, like printing to the console or writing to a file. However, it's often good practice to separate these concerns. For example, a method that calculates a value should ideally only calculate and return the value, without also printing it. Another method can then take the returned value and print it. This separation of concerns makes your code more flexible and easier to test. By understanding the structure of method declarations, the importance of return type, and the common scenarios where the error, invalid method declaration, return type required error occurs, you can quickly identify and fix this issue in your Java code. Remember to read the compiler error messages carefully, double-check your method declarations, and ensure that you're returning the correct data type. Good luck.